Yay.
I've been doing that for years, from when we,
From
when I
when we
first read
first,
about it.
yes, that's right. Yes, because for anyone who doesn't know, um, Cheryl and I connected, I don't know, was it 2011 or 2012, something like that? Because I wrote the book in 2012, I think. That's
Yeah.
but I think I knew you before that on the
Yes.
Powerful Intentions Forum. And I don't know if you were around at the time when I was struggling. I don't know
Oh, I
if
was. You're like
right.
one of the biggest success stories that I always keep it in my mind. And, there were many, but you were
Yes,
fantastic.
yes. So, I would reach out on those forums for help. I struggled a lot in that time. So, yeah, I often think back to it as well and remind myself, wow, just how
Maybe that's why I'm here. Maybe I'm here to remind you.
yes, indeed. Indeed, because it is very easy, as we make changes, and in all areas of life, I think, as we make changes, we automatically become used to those changes, and they become the norm. And we often are so focused on what we don't have now that we still want, that we forget to look back and see how far we've come. And one of the analogies I use is climbing a mountain. So we're trying to get to the top of the mountain, and we maybe, we're not where we want to be. We're not at the top. And so all we think about is, I want to get there, but I'm not there yet. And we forget to look. It's good every now and then to look down and see how far we've come since then.
Mm-hmm.
And because that encourages us to keep going. And so, yeah, it's good and it's so lovely to have you with us. I'm glad you joined us. All right. So how's everyone doing? Well, so before I ask how everyone's doing, we're going to try and make this more structured for editing purposes. So what we're going to do, I'm going to share something with you today that that I was reminded of by someone in the Superpower group, who she pointed it out, and I don't think I've made it clear enough, or maybe I haven't said it in the right way, or clarified it rather. So when you're doing the exercise where your subject is rejecting you, and you want to hold that state of unconditional love, keep them filled with that love, what you want to do is, if you lose the feeling, if you feel rejected anyway, or you feel the betrayal or whatever it is, I had said, stop the exercise, go back to the beginning and start again. And so what I want to clarify is that is as a beginner. So when you're just starting to practice, that's what you want to do. Like, you fell off the bicycle, you get back on, so you go back to the beginning. But what you want to aim for is to love the feeling of betrayal or rejection. So as you are feeling the person, animal, place, or activity, whatever it is, your subject is rejecting you, see if you feel the rejection, see if you can love the rejection. See if you can fill that feeling, the negative feelings, with love. Because when you love the negative feelings, that diffuses them as well. Does that make sense to everyone? So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so I want to kick off today by getting into the state together first, and then we'll continue the session. So everybody take a deep breath, close your eyes, and I want you to start repeating your word or phrase that you created yesterday, and get yourself into that state of unconditional love. Feel that light and energy filling you. And if you can't do it with the word or phrase, that's okay. Just go to the beginner's exercise. So surrounded by the color, hugging your subject, doing that little exercise. And for anyone who's watching this recording, if you're wondering, how to do this, make sure you watch the first, at least the first 5 days of recordings. Very good. All right. And you can open your eyes. Was everyone able to get into that state using your word or phrase? Very good. And of course, as always, if you have any questions or you're not able to do something, of course, either unmute yourself or raise your hand or pop the question in the chat, and we'll address that as we go.
Odile, I was thinking that perhaps we make it a challenge to see if we can try to maintain that feeling throughout the session today. So as you become aware that you're slipping out of that unconditional love state, see if you can bring that word or phrase to mind and make it a challenge just to see if you can stay in the state throughout the entire call today.
Yes, fantastic. Thank you, Steve. Yes, so see how, now that you've got that state, we've done that exercise, you've opened your heart, and now see how long you can maintain it. And as you dip out of it, just bring yourself back into it. And if you find you can't, if you find it difficult, just reach out either, as I say, by unmuting yourself or waving or putting it in the chat. Boguslavi, yes. Hi.
Sorry, hi. I don't have any issue, but what I just wanted to ask you if, I mean, I just figured out something this morning when I was practicing this superpower and changing my memories. What I found, I was in the good state. I go to the bad memory. I just touch a little thing, whatever was the negative. I go back and I was feeling like I am all the time in this good state. And I go there, I just, like you said, you just try the hot water. If it's hot, you just get out. So I was doing this and I said, okay, I'm all the time in the good stage, even I go to the bad memory. Is that what we should do, or is like?
Absolutely. That's the idea, and that's how you, because when you go to the bad memory at first, as you think of that bad memory, your brain and body are pumping stress chemicals into your system. Yeah. Then when you go to the feel-good state, it's endorphins, it's feel-good chemicals. And as you do that back and forth, you're bringing you're changing what's happening. So then as you think of the bad memory, the stress chemicals are less, and you're starting to produce feel-good, you're starting to bring those feel-good chemicals over to the bad memory. And that's how, then when you go to the bad memory and there's the feel-good state, that's perfect, because then it's easy to change.
Yeah, it's just quick. I just say, okay, I feel this, and I go back, and it's like most of the time I'm in the good state.
That's it. It's perfect. You're doing it perfectly. And that's why, we use this technique, because it's so quick. It's so much quicker than anything else.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I was so happy today. I say like, wow.
Good. Okay, well done. Well done. Yay. And thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Can I give you an update?
Of course, please do.
Okay. What have I written here? Right. I found a photograph, right? And what I've written here is, I hated how I looked in my school uniform. Right. Other girls looked so much prettier, and so I would continually beat myself up. Right. Okay. And at the boarding school, never felt close or loved by my mother, and I didn't like how she looked. Now my figure is exactly the same.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what's in that. And then I done a little bit of work, and then I looked at the school uniform, and then I said, I'm too busy being happy and being Katrina now.
Yes, good.
But I'm sure there's more work.
Yes, but that is a fantastic start. And so, Katrina, first of all, well done for doing that. That's really good. And so how do you feel now about that, about the changes you've made so far?
Well, I have a photograph of her sitting here. I don't know whether you can see it. I don't know where to put that. The uniform, can you see it?
A little bit. It's the light is glancing off it. If you hold it a little bit.
up, higher, lower? Where?
To this way. Oh, there we go. There we go. I think, and just angle it slightly down. Angling. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Oh, so cute. Beautiful.
All I could see was the uniform, and I really detested the
right.
uniform. Now I look at the uniform, I don't see the uniform.
Yes, exactly. You see that cute little face. Beautiful face.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so good. Well done. And then what you can do is there's a few different ways you can do it. So first of all, you could change the uniform to something more fun, or something you would have preferred. What would that little you have preferred to have worn? Or you can change it so that children didn't need to wear uniforms in school at that time, and they just wore whatever they wanted, and you could give yourself some fantastic outfits.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So that was just everybody wore what they wanted to wear. So there's that, and then your mum, you can change her as well. You can change the way she looked, or you can find out what it was that you didn't like. So what was it about her look that you didn't like, that bothered you? And I suspect that it's going to be connected to something else, that it's not actually about how she looked, but it's going to be connected to something emotional, or an experience you had, or to someone else you had an experience with.
Actually, when you say that, her aunt, we would have brought to school together, and I always loved Auntie Anne and how she looked. And she was lovely, and she was so nice, and my mother was so cold and mean.
There you go. And so, Katrina, what I suspect is that it's not so much what your mum looked like, but the fact that she was cold. And your brain put together that feeling of coldness with the way she looked. And so when you think of the way she looked, automatically it's triggering that coldness. And whatever else is there. So two things there. You can change her to look like your aunt, but most importantly, change her personality so that she is kind and fun and affectionate and warm and encouraging. And the way we, won't go into too much detail here because I don't want to distract too much from what we're doing, but the way we would do that is change her childhood. Because if she had grown up differently, if she'd had different experiences, she would have become a different person, and she would have been warm and kind and loving and affectionate. So that's some of the work you can do, is change her childhood, which automatically changes the kind of mother she was to you.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you.
And then the looks will, either change or not change. It doesn't matter. All right.
Yeah, thank you.
You're very welcome, love. Thank you for sharing that. All right, Carrie. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, sweetie. You look lovely today. You look very sparkly and bright.
Well, I got sleep.
You got sleep. Oh, good. Oh, good. So did that help yesterday?
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. I'm so happy.
So I really want to thank everybody for sending me the love.
Very good. You're very welcome.
And it was very nice because yesterday evening at about 4 o'clock, I took a nap.
Yeah.
And I felt so refreshed when I woke up.
Fantastic. Well done. Oh, yay. I'm so great. I'm so glad for you. Excellent. And thank you for sharing that as well, because that's, that helps to encourage others who may be struggling as well. And very good. And who's next? Okay. My emotions, positive and negative, feel very muted. Is there a way to turn up the intensity of the love and appreciation state, or will that come with time and practice? So it's a good question, and I know you're not alone on that. So the way to turn it up is to drill down on the details. That's one way. So well, the first part of the answer is yes, it will get stronger with time and practice. And in addition to that, in the meantime, if you drill down on the reasons you love this person, animal, place, or activity, or the focus in on the color. So as we drill down and bring our focus in into more detail, it triggers more of those chemicals. So whether that's positive or negative. So you can, for example, just think about, I'm going to give I don't know what your subject is, so I'm going to just use, for example, if you, let's say it's a cat, then focus in on the furriness and the feeling of the cat. Have they ever done anything funny? What do you love about them? How cute is that face? How much do they love you? And so really drill down on all the things you love. Do you have any happy memories? Do you appreciate anything about that, that subject? And so that's one thing. You can also try different subject, you know, so if you find that you're not able to bring up those feelings as strong, try a different subject. And going back to the color can help as well. Now you can, depending on how your mind works, you can also get a picture of your color and really bring your focus in, hone your focus in, and really feel the feeling of what you appreciate about this color. So for example, mine is purple. So if I get a really lovely, beautiful shade of purple, and then I really focus on the beauty of the purple, and that can be like the beauty of a flower or a sunset. So whatever brings your emotions in to the details. So I hope that helps, but with time and practice, it will get stronger as well. And then of course, it'll also depend on the time of, you know, what's happening in your life at the time. So when you have more stress in your life, more stress chemicals in your system, it's going to be a bit more difficult to get rolling, to get that momentum going. So I hope that
Odile, I'm just going to jump in real quick with another example from work with another client that I did who was having difficulty, same type of difficulty, being able to feel positive or negative emotions because she was dealing with a lot of physical pain. So she was in a lot of physical pain. So she was focused or concentrating on that. Yes. So it's difficult to make the jump sometimes to a positive, trying to get into that positive state. So what we did is to come up with something that felt more neutral. So we spent time trying to find neutral places in her body to focus on. So she knew where the pain points were at. So we spent the time going to and beginning to see if you could find the neutral spots or to find something to be grateful for. So that, you know, if we're feeling kind of in a neutral place or feeling things are muted, making the jump to feeling unconditional love may be too big of a jump. So try something a little bit smaller. So maybe it getting into that state of gratitude or appreciation is a step that's a little bit closer to that. So that may be another technique to try.
An excellent point. Thanks, Steve. And the gratitude thing is a very powerful one. So, you know, even if things like just, I'm grateful I've got electricity. I'm grateful that I've got, you know, the internet, things like that. And you're right, because that does already start to change.
And yeah, as we know, even if you can't find something to be grateful for,
yes,
it's automatically, because your brain is in the activity of looking for it, it's going to change your chemical state.
That's right. Exactly. Yes. Thank you, Steve, for that. And she says, very helpful. Thank you. Very good. I'm so glad. And so the next one, it has been very helpful to use this exercise for everything. We are being forced to wear masks outside. I am in California. I remain positive, but the energy is really dark. but I am still able to maintain the state. So this came at a perfect time. Very good. I'm thrilled to hear that. And it will, because it's not a straight road like anything, it's up and down. Some days are better, some days are worse. But you're doing brilliantly as long as you keep maintaining your state. You will eventually experience changes, at the very least in how you feel, and the way you're affected by the things around you, but probably by the things around you as well. And we've mentioned it before, just how much the world around you can change by using this process, because we're all connected and we're constantly creating. But sometimes there's a time delay. And that's very often where people lose faith, and I used to as well, where, you change, you're using this, you're doing it, but then you're not seeing the results. And, the outside is still dark. And so sometimes but that's when it's crucial to maintain that state until it changes. And it's the same with physical exercise. If you wanted to get fitter, it takes a while before you actually see the results. So well done, and thank you for sharing that, and keep up the great work. Very proud of you. All right, so I think if we don't have any specific requests for, so if you have a specific request for us to aim at for you, for the group to aim at for you, I know Carrie was saying how effective that was for her yesterday. Then if you have one of those, put it in the chat, or just unmute yourself or raise your hand. And in the meantime, while we're waiting for those to come through, let's just do it for everybody. All right, so we all just practice and we share it with everyone, because this is very powerful, just you doing it on your own anyway. But as a group, the more we do this, the stronger and more powerful it becomes for everyone. All right, so and if you're having trouble, again, if you're having trouble, someone says, I'm struggling with emotions around my son. Okay, so I think I'm just trying to think how to, yes, so are you able to get into, when you're not thinking of your son, are you able to get into the state in the first instance? Good, okay. So for the moment, every time you think of your son, just bring your attention back to this state, this feeling. And so what you're doing is your son is a more difficult target at this stage. So you're going to strengthen your ability first, and then you're going to aim it at your son. And in the meantime, what's important to remember is that whatever's happening with your son, you can't change it through feeling bad, of course. And so the best thing you can do is get strong inside yourself, and then you'll be able to, once you're strong, you'll be able to contribute as best you can to someone else, because we can't change other people as such, but you can contribute. And I mean, I completely understand the challenge there. And what I can tell you from experience is that always bringing the strength inside is the most effective way of doing it. So if you follow along with this, we'll get into the strong state, and then we will all aim at your son. Does that sound good? Would you like us to, should we do that? Okay, very good. We will do that. Okay, fantastic. Yes, and Steve has suggested that we also do a round of sending unconditional love to those watching the recording, which I think is a fantastic idea as well. All right. Okay, so everybody take a deep breath and get into your state, however you get into it. So if you need to do the exercise, that's okay. Or if you're able to do it with your word or phrase, then you do that. However you get into that state of love, appreciation, and fill your whole body with that light, that energy, that love. Very good. And make sure that you filled each of the 50 trillion cells of your body with that love and that light. And it's all the way through your body, from the tips of your toes to the top of your head, out to your fingertips. Very, very good. And now I want you to imagine sending that love and that light to Kathy. Fill her with that love, that light, that energy. And now send it to Cheryl. Send that light and love to Cheryl. Fill her up with that same love. And now to Katrina. Everyone send that love and light and appreciation and power of unconditional love to Katrina, just for existing exactly as she is. And now to Lisa. Aim that power at Lisa. And to Carrie. Fill Carrie with that same love. And to Boguslava, everyone aim at Boguslava, that love, that energy, that appreciation just for existing. And now to Kara, fill Kara with that same love and appreciation and light. Very, very good. And now the person who mentioned their son earlier, I want you to fill that person with the love and light from the tips of their toes to the top of their head, no matter what. Just for existing, send that person all of that love and energy exactly as they are. And now allow that, imagine that love, that light, that energy overflowing from that person and filling their son with that same love, that light, that energy, that appreciation just for existing, even if nothing changes. Pure, unconditional love just for existing. And as you do that, become aware of how we're all connected. And as you send this love and you fill that person with this love, you are being filled with even more of it. Very good. And now let's aim this love, this light, this energy and appreciation at everyone who watches this recording. Whoever's watching this recording, fill them with that same love, that light, that appreciation just for existing, no matter what. Very, very good. All right, you can open your eyes. And how was that for everybody? Yeah? Good. Very, very good. And do share your comments and your feedback in the either in person or in the chat, whichever, how that, let us know how that was for you, and any details of your experience of it, and of course any questions. Very good. So someone says, when I sent my love to my son in my mind screen, he was much taller than I, or taller than he is. Why? So I'm actually going to let Steve answer that, because Steve is the expert on that particular subject. So Steve, you go ahead and answer that.
Expert, you say? Okay. Actually, I'm sure that you're probably referring to kind of the technique that
Yes.
we use to help increase those feelings. So it's a technique that I'm borrowing from NLP, I think. But if you can imagine yourself, so even as you're in that state of unconditional love right now, so if you find yourself, if you can imagine the scene in your mind's eye, just imagine yourself being taller. Give yourself some sort of a figure. Maybe it's 30 feet taller, 50 feet taller, that above it all feeling. So perhaps what's going on when you're imagining your son being bigger is that your subconscious is automatically doing something that's representing that sense of expansion filling up.
Yeah.
So that's my first thought on it.
Thanks, Steve. And so a couple of possibilities, depending on how it felt when you were looking at your son and he was much taller. Either, if it felt good, then that's a good sign. And perhaps that's just a representation of empowerment, empowering him that he is bigger than whatever issues are going on. Or if it didn't feel good, then it may just be that your subconscious is representing the feeling being the issue being overwhelming or overpowering, in which case you can change so that you are taller and bigger. And this goes for anyone who's, she says it felt neutral. Okay, so then as long as you are feeling the overpowering, for sure, there you go. So what I suggest you do is when that happens, do what's Steve's technique, which is just imagine yourself growing taller and bigger, 50 feet tall, 30 feet tall, whatever that is, and see the world, including your son, getting smaller and smaller, and keep that love going as much as you can. And if you have trouble doing that, remember to love the fact that you're having trouble doing it. So the emotions are quite raw today. Okay, yes. And so what that is a sign of is shifting and movement. So when we have, when we're going through, especially when it's somebody close to us and those emotions are already intense and raw, when we start moving the furniture around in our heads, we start rewiring stuff that can trigger more of those emotions. So the top priority above everything else is to be kind to yourself and take it easy. So if you look at this as, when you're doing new physical exercise, your muscles start hurting and, because they're changing and they're recovering and they're getting stronger, and you need to rest them in between exercise so they can strengthen. So with this, it's very important to keep reminding yourself that it's just part of the process, and you don't need, nothing is required of you. It's not that you're not allowed to feel bad. If you're feeling bad, love the fact that you're feeling bad. You can also try that additional little technique that we created, which is the acknowledgement technique. So as you're feeling those raw emotions, whatever's there, say to the part of yourself, imagine that you're speaking to the part of yourself that is feeling those emotions or wherever they're coming from, and say the phrase, I see you, I hear you, I love you. I see you, I hear you, I love you. And I think I added an extra one. I see you, I hear you, I feel you, I love you. And so what you're doing is you are, instead of wrestling against it and trying to stop it, you're allowing and you're respecting and acknowledging that part of you that is feeling it needs to. I have used that and it does feel good to say that. Very, very good. Good job. And so continue to do that. So if you think of it like a child that's hurt, that's fallen over and hurt, you want to reassure, you want to say, I understand it hurts and I love you, so you're acknowledging, respecting and loving that part of yourself. And keep reminding yourself that this will pass as you go through this this period where you're making these changes, you're respecting and loving that part of yourself. You will, you know, the next day it will be easier. So and we are all sending you lots and lots of love, and I know I speak on behalf of everyone in this group that we are energetically and emotionally supporting you and sending you so much love. All right, you say thank you, Odile and Steve. You're very, very welcome, and thank you for sharing, because I know that if not here in the room at the moment, there will definitely be people who are watching who are going through various difficult stuff, difficult emotional stuff. Okay, and so I'm just seeing how far back I need to go. So wow, that was so amazing, and it is beautiful how the energy feels so infinite and always replenishing and renewing. I sent it to the whole planet too. Well done, that is perfect. Yes. And the wonderful thing about this is that the more you, as long as you fill yourself with it first, the more you send it out to other things, to people, situations, and even inanimate objects, the more you fill with it. So the stronger it gets and the more powerful you become. And someone else says, I just wanted to say thank you to Katrina for sharing her personal story about her perceptions of herself. I have been there, and I want to let her know it will get better. She is exactly where she needs to be at this moment. Very good. Thank you for sharing that, love. I have a question for Steve. Is the ESC practice for frontline people on your site? I didn't find it yesterday, but could be me jumping over it or something. So Steve, did you want to answer that, or?
It's on our resources page. So if you go to the website, there is a tab up at the top that says ESC resources.
Actually, it says emotional fitness.
Oh, okay. Oh, yep. You're right. Emotional fitness training. Yep. I don't have the website open in front of me, so I was going off of memory.
And then what it is it's not we haven't created anything that is specifically for frontline people, but if you send them that link, the link to that page, the recordings of each of these sessions and the downloads are on that page. And so the idea we had is that those who are working on the front lines, who are really going through some incredibly challenging things, when they get home after a shift, they can go to that website, that web page, and they can watch the recordings of these videos and of course use the exercises and that. So they're on the resources page. And while we're on that topic, thank you so much for the suggestion yesterday of the donations button. We have put that on that page as well. And thank you so much to those of you who have sent donations. We really don't, we want to make sure that nobody feels obliged, because these are completely free, but we also want to acknowledge that we do appreciate your expressions of gratitude as well. It means a lot to us. All right. And so appreciate that support. You're very welcome. And okay, so do we have any other topics or issues to aim at?
Can I just share?
Yes, Katrina.
I've written down the love I felt was heart-blowing and mind-blowing from everybody. And and I have never in my life have felt so much love. Thank you.
Oh, you are so welcome. I just got goosebumps. Oh, that is wonderful, Katrina. And here's the thing, what's wonderful about this as well is that it is pure and authentic and completely unconditional. And it's who you are. And one of the reasons it feels so mind-blowing and heart-blowing is because it's touching the real you. It's connecting with the real you. And thank you so much for sharing that. And we really appreciate you. Fantastic.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Bogislavi, you wanted to say something? There you go.
Well, because you asked if we have any issue to
Yes.
put, I have to go out to the
Okay.
store, to the bank. I have to do income tax, and I really feel scared.
Oh,
It's like uncomfortable, fears, something like, you worry if you're going to be
yes.
okay when you come back.
That's
Yes,
right. Okay. And very, very understandable under the circumstances, but let's sort it out then. All right. So I want you to, first of all, let's just check what is the thing that, so you've got the, like the mask and the gloves and what you need to, the precautions you need to take physically. You've
Yes,
got
I
that
do
sorted
have.
out. Okay, very good. So take all of the the precautions that are recommended, and now in addition to that, let's clear the fear. All right. So everyone, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and get into your state of unconditional love. However you do that, with your phrase or your word, or using the exercise, whatever works for you right now. Very good. And fill yourself with that love, that light, that energy. Love each cell just for existing. And now aim that energy, that light, that love and appreciation at Boguslava. Imagine her being filled with that light or energy from the tips of her toes all the way up to the top of her head and out to her fingertips, exactly as she is, no matter what. And imagine her being surrounded by that light. So turn that light or energy into a hazmat suit that protects her completely. So it's an energetic hazmat suit, a protection. And now I want you to imagine Boguslava going out to the shops, to the bank, wherever she's going to go, and pave that whole route with this light, love, and energy, no matter what. It's pure power. Very, very good. And now imagine her coming home. She's still wearing her energetic hazmat suit of light and love. She gets home and she's safe and she feels loved. Very, very good. All right, you can open your eyes. And Boguslava, how do you feel now?
So good. I'm so happy. Thank you.
Good. You're very, very welcome, sweetheart.
Feel that power that's stronger than when you do by yourself.
That's
It's
right.
wonderful. Thank
Good. I'm so happy to hear that. And so now when you do go out, remember this. And you can, remember it, remember your hazmat suit, and remember that everybody's contributed to this power for you.
Thank you. Yes.
You're very, very welcome. What a group of superheroes, hey? All right. And anyone else would like so someone says that was beautiful. That's good. I love that so much. I am using this every day when I go to work. Oh, that's wonderful to hear. Thank you so much for sharing that.
And I, not to make light of it, but I really am, I'm still hanging on to the unconditional love spray. I like that.
Oh, the spray. Yes, Cheryl's unconditional love spray. So I don't know, were we recording when
I'm not 100% sure, but I along with Boguswala's hazmat, energetic hazmat suit, I'm also seeing the unconditional love spray.
Very good. And so for those who didn't hear about that, Cheryl is a preschool teacher, and she has little bottles filled with unconditional love that she sprays, and the kids all, she tells them it's unconditional love. And so that someone said instead of pepper spray. Yes, exactly. Much more.
Or instead of disinfectant.
Well, no. Let's not recommend that.
No,
As
no.
well as, in addition to disinfectant.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So, yes. So, oh, Cheryl, let's unmute you.
We have like a little conflict resolution area in the room with like emotion faces and little cushions to sit on. We have colors coordinated with the emotions and everything. And so when the kids are having they can go there by themselves, or they can go there together if they're having a little conflict. So they'll go and they'll talk through their feelings, and then at the end they spray each other with the spray. So
oh, that is fabulous. And thank you for that idea as well, because I'm sure so many of us can use it.
Yeah.
And so what you can do is get a spray bottle and aim your power at it, fill it with unconditional love. And you can use this with your children, like Cheryl is doing, but you can use it for yourself as well, just as an extra something physical you can hold, and spray it on yourself or spray it around your environment. And so, of course, in addition to the disinfectant, to make sure that we're not advocating that you don't use, of course, the disinfectant. And so someone says here, about Boguslava, I saw her in a unicorn helmet and a rainbow suit with angel wings. I love that. Fantastic. Very, very good. And while we're here, I want to also say that, so each of you can bring, when you come, we can all aim at you and your issues. And in addition to that, if you know of anyone who you feel could use some of this love, let us know, either just their name or just say subject A or whatever it is. And because the subconscious doesn't need the details, and we will all aim at that person or an issue or a global issue or a local issue. So this works for anything and everything. So, bring whatever targets, whatever suggestions for targets you like, because the more we do this, the better, the stronger, the more powerful. And the
Another
faster.
thing I might add too is looking for success stories, so that we're starting to also build that part of our reticular activating system. So notice how the unconditional love is impacting your life. So as you're seeing things happening in your life, if you can share those, that also kind of helps build everybody else's subconscious looking for proof and evidence that this is really a superpower.
Absolutely, yes. And so, in fact, what I'd like to do now is I'd like to go back into that state, and let's aim it at the first responders throughout the world. Let's do one of those now. So everybody take a deep breath and get into your superpower state, however you do that, with your word or phrase or using the exercise. Feel your heart opening, that powerful light or energy from your heart filling your whole body to the top of your head, tips of your toes, out to your fingertips. Feel the strength of that power. Pure, unconditional love. Love each of the cells of your body just for existing. And now I want you to imagine aiming that power, that love, that light, that energy at all of the first responders in the world who are working so hard. Aim that light, that energy at them and love them just for existing, no matter what. Love them just for being. Feel that pure, unconditional love and light for each of those people. Very good. Good job. And you can open your eyes. How is that for everyone? Did that feel good? You were able to do it? Very, very good. All right. So is there anyone else who would like us to aim at them before we end, or anyone you know that you would like us to aim at? Kara? Yes, Kara?
Well, I had a headache when I woke up this morning, and I had it until a few minutes ago, and it's almost gone now.
Fantastic.
So if you want to zap it a little more, that'd be great.
Yes.
Have it a little bit.
Absolutely. Good job. Yes. All right. So Kara's headache. So everybody get back into your state. Feel that power, that energy coming from your heart. Feel that physical feeling as your heart opens with that energy and that light. Feel it filling your whole body. And now let's aim it at Kara. So feel that love, that light, that energy filling Kara from her toes all the way to the top of her head, out to her fingertips. Love Kara just for existing. Pure, unconditional love. And now I want you to think about Kara's headache, whatever remains of it, and love her head and the ache exactly as it is, and even if it never changes, just love her and her headache exactly as they are. Pure love. Very good. And you might feel a tingling in your hands as that energy goes from you to Kara. Good job. All right. And you can open your eyes. And Kara, how was that?
Wonderful.
Very good. Good.
Felt good. Felt
Yay.
really good. I feel the energy for sure.
Good, 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 good. Yes. And you'll probably find, all of you will probably find that as you do this more and more, each time you do it, that energy gets stronger and stronger, and you'll start becoming more sensitive to it, which means more empowered by it. You'll notice it more. Very good. And felt great. Good. I'm so glad. All right, everyone. So we will be back now on Friday. So tomorrow there isn't one of these sessions because we have the online workshop. But on Friday, same time, same place. The room is open early, so come in 20 minutes before if you want to, so you can chat with each other as well. So you don't have to talk with us. But what we want to do is encourage community and connection with each other as well, because that is so much more powerful. All right, so, feel free to arrive early with your cup of coffee and have a chat with each other as well. All right, so have a fantastic rest of your day today and tomorrow. And remember also that you can always reach out to us in our Facebook group, the Remmert Method Facebook group. So if between now and the next time we see you, you've got any issues or questions or anything, reach out to us there. Also, please do share this with those you feel would benefit, because we want to reach as many people as possible. So the more you're able to share this, these sessions, the better. All right. Thank you so much. Love to you, and love to you as well. Lots of love to all of you. Bye-bye.